welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
I want to put my face in that grass.
Or you're trying to make eye contact with a person.
Maybe you're looking at it from the wrong angle.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
Welcome to Off the Cut episode 151 for Monday. I almost said Tuesday. Monday, February 10th, 2025. And Deric, Zach, big announcement.
Oh.
Our good buddy. Hey, buddy. Is that a good impression of Jonathan?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's almost a character unto itself. It's almost Eric doing Jonathan.
Whoa. It's getting off the rails already. Anyway, our good buddy Jonathan Katz-Moses wanted to give a friendly reminder to everyone listening that, well, if you're listening to this live, this reminder works. If you're listening to this when it comes out on Saturday, you're already in the doghouse. 4 days, in 4 days, Valentine's Day is happening. And remember, if you didn't know this, Jonathan is the pinnacle of manliness, the cream of the crop, the bee's knees.
Mm-hmm.
You might even say the cat's pajamas when it comes to understanding the complex intricacies of the female mind. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Very
I
true.
talked to him this morning. I was like, Jonathan, what are we supposed to do this year for gifts? And he goes, he told me that for all of our listeners really trying to go the extra mile this year, win over their spouse, there's one place that has everything they need. You guys know where that is?
It's kmtools.com, baby.
Sure is. So you thought I was going to say like Lion's Den, maybe Adam and Eve.
No. Oh, really romantic.
Do you not have a Lion's Den in Canada?
I don't think so, but I can infer from the name what it's all about.
Okay. You have an Adam and Eve, though, right?
Adam and Eve, I think there's an Adam and Eve by the airport.
They're always by the airport or by a truck stop.
Yes. Classy locations.
Anyway, go to KM Tools. They do not have the same stuff that Lion's Den does, but they do have everything a woodworker would want.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything over there is for woodworkers, by woodworkers.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's in their shop, it should be in your shop.
Damn it, we really need to synchronize on that a little bit better.
We have so many different renditions of their phrase.
We need to hold up a cue card so that the other
we know which one we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. People listening won't hear it. The live stream will get a taste of it, but the people listening at home, it'll be really slick for them.
Well, not only does KM Tools have amazing tools made by Jonathan and his team and some of the content creators, YouTubers that you love out there.
Yeah.
A portion of all their sales goes directly towards the Katz-Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund. It gets tools and resources into the hands of folks who need it most. Mm-hmm. And if that's not enough, every single month, Jonathan gives away a $50 gift card to KM Tools. And if you want to get your hands on that, like Josh from Sawdust Builds did, last week that we did it?
Last week? It was last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that you have to do is sign up on patreon.com/offthecutpodcast, automatically entered to win, and you get the bonus episode every single week. Oh, excuse me. Tons and tons of other perks. But did you guys we talked about this last week about Jonathan posted a video. The newest thing on KM Tools is going to be their new miter bar thing, right?
Miter slide. Yeah.
Miter slide. Yeah.
Miter slide. Yeah.
That's going to be slick. I cannot wait to get my hands on that thing.
Yeah.
But
that looks awesome. It's going to be a game changer for making, your own sleds.
Oh yeah. Because here's my question. He has some kits now that's like build your own crosscut sled, build your own whatever sled, and it comes with like plywood runners. Did he just put himself out of business? Did he just make his own products obsolete?
Well, I think no, because any good business knows that you have to have different tiers for different customers.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
That's right.
So you have the plywood one is like the starter one, but then you want to upgrade later. You get the nice new one, right?
Well, I bet this is an option for those as well going forward.
That's what I was going to say.
Be smart.
I like that little drop down on the checkout.
Yeah,
yes, I would like to upgrade.
Yeah. Oh, that's so like, you're buying something like, what would you like to upgrade from the zinc screws to the stainless if you're going to do it outside? And you're like, yeah, give me the
Yeah. What's
stainless,
that?
baby.
$17 extra? Okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah. Upsell.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you guys saw big news.
What's that?
Our buddy, good buddy, and viewer, longtime listener,
Mm-hmm.
patron of the show, Joe
Mm-hmm.
Walsh at Delaware Valley Workshop.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Hit
killing it.
1,000 subs, baby. That's a huge
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
I know. And his
Congrats,
latest video
Joe.
is almost up to 20,000 views. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's
Good
doing
video.
better than my
work.
video 2 videos ago is doing.
Your latest video is doing a lot better though. I watched that the other day. That was quite good. Enjoyed
Oh,
that.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
You reused you reused an old thumbnail though.
I sure did. And
Yeah.
it worked great.
Did anybody notice? Did anybody say anything about it?
I didn't see anything. Anybody say
Yeah.
anything?
Fair enough.
You
I
know.
mean, I'm sure that old video no longer has that thumbnail, right?
I have no idea.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I wonder what would happen if you had 2 videos with identical thumbnails.
I don't know. But I punched in a little bit. I blurred out the background and added some text. But I was like, I feel like this thumbnail, it works. Like, I already
Yeah.
have proof that the thumbnail works. I was like, give it a
Yeah,
shot.
totally.
The other thoughts I had was just a straight black thumbnail, nothing on it.
Oh,
But I was like, that might look like an accident. Like somebody's uploading their first YouTube video.
interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I didn't do that. But
Yeah, I mean, couldn't hurt to A/B test it, maybe.
I don't know. But see, I haven't A/B tested anything on this video because the
The first
last
one.
video that or I guess 2 videos ago was a 10 out of 10, meaning it was the worst video that you put out in the last 10 videos, right? And then this
Yeah.
one is a 1 out of 10. So I'm like,
Okay.
I'm going to leave her.
Yeah. When you I guess strike gold on the first try, it's tough to tinker with it.
Right.
It's like you're like, should I? Maybe I could get a better one, but maybe I should just be thankful for what I have and just leave it.
I know. And I'm 2 days, 11 hours in, and I'm at 8.9% click-through rate. So I was like,
Damn.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
With like, it's like 45% watch time.
You should
The
just use
retention.
that thumbnail for everything. Maybe just change the text for.
Dude, I don't know. But
I like this new era of Eric having text in his thumbnails, though.
I'm trying it.
Yeah.
See, you got to reinvent the wheel. It's like you
For
do
sure.
something that works, and then when anything starts not working, try something different.
Yeah. Change it up.
I'll be honest. I got
Got
the
it.
idea from you. I saw that you've been doing like a couple words on thumbnails, and it
Couple
seems to be
words.
working for you. I was like, okay, give it a shot.
3 words is my maximum. I mean, I tried like 4 words, 5 words. It's like it gets too confusing too quick. It's like 3 words, and they have to be short. Like
Yeah.
ideally, like 3 4-letter words or something like that.
I spent an hour trying to find a font in Photoshop that I liked, and I still
Yeah.
haven't found one that I liked.
I have one that is my go-to. And
I like
won't-
yours.
I won't tell you what it is. It's
That's
a trade
fine.
secret. No, it's called Montserrat or something like that. It's like Montserrat extra bold or something like
Okay.
that. Finding a font is hard.
I know.
You go,
Yeah.
you hit
It's
that
too many
little drop
options.
down menu, and then there's like 300, and you're like, half of these are wingdings, and they're just completely useless. And then the other ones are like curly, and there's like 5 usable ones buried in the 300 that you have.
It's
And then you go on Adobe's site, their font site, and they have thousands more to pick from. It's crazy.
It's
you're
true.
like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many.
I feel like so many of them are just very niche use cases. And it's like, I just want like a good normal looking one. Give me a good normal one.
You need something that all the letters are very distinguishable, pretty
Yeah.
fat, pretty chunky,
Yeah.
doesn't look too like Comic Sansy playful, but doesn't look like I'm reading an Excel document. Like a nice sans serif
Yeah.
is a good font family to pick from.
Mm-hmm. Sans serif, yeah, that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Serifs start to get a little fancy looking pretty quick.
I had a teacher in elementary school
Mm-hmm.
that made us type stuff in Comic Sans.
No,
I
really?
swear to God.
I
Yeah,
thought Comic Sans is like the font you use when you're trying to be ironic about your lack of design skills.
please. It would look so bad. It
I mean,
reminded me of the time where, like, remember that you used to have to write papers that were based on like pages. They'd be like, all right, you have to write a 2-page paper, double spaced, and you're like, what?
what? Yeah,
This is
crazy.
bananas. And what's
Yeah.
that, like 3 paragraphs at best, 2 paragraphs?
So little, yeah. I'm now to the point where I can kind of like tell how long a video is going to be by how many words it is. Like, because I usually do my like script and my VO script all in one document.
Right.
So I basically know from looking at the word count of that or the page count of that how long the video is going to end up being.
Oh, okay. Do you have a sense, like 10,000 words is this long, or like what are we talking?
Yeah, like 100 words is about 30 seconds in
Okay.
like my normal speaking cadence.
Okay. Well, I gotta know. Okay, so the last video I put out was roughly a half hour long,
Yeah.
and what did I go? Tools,
What's
word count.
What's that work out to? Like 5,000 words, 6,000 words, something like that?
It says 3,831.
Oh, interesting. But okay, but I think your videos are a little different than mine. Like sometimes you'll have like just clips of you working for a little bit, right?
Yeah, play a little
Yeah.
music here and there.
Yeah. Mine are, I'm generally like such a crazy person. I just try and slam mine all together as much as possible. So it's pretty much me talking for the full 20 minutes, which is a horrible experience for my poor viewers.
Well,
It's
let me
also
ask you this
drone.
then. How long do you think this will be? And I'm not done. I have
Okay.
another document here that I'm working on, and we'll get into this later. So far, this is 17,671 words,
What?
and I'm definitely not done.
That's like an hour almost.
I think it's going to be more than an hour.
Yeah, that might be like an hour 15. Well, yeah, your cadence is probably more like hour and a half to 2 hours.
So what I've been working on is we've been, we talked to Scott. We've
The old course.
yes.
Course. Okay.
I'm developing my first course.
Okay.
Now I'm not going to tell you guys what it's on yet because I'm not done with it. I don't want somebody to beat me to the punch. But I will tell you that I had a lot of, maybe I'll tell you in the after show. I've been brainstorming a lot about the whole course situation and, talking to Scott and talking to some other people. I've noticed a trend of what appears to be the most successful.
Okay.
You have one option, which is I'm going to get unbelievably specific. And what I mean by that is I'm going to do a course about how to make this coffee table.
Spells out every single detail about it. That, like this length screw, this length cut. You can put a biscuit here, you put a domino here.
Right. And I was like, okay, that's an option. I also have here's how you do woodworking course. It's like, okay, that's a little bit more general. Then I kind of backed up and I was like, well, there's going to be such a huge amount. There's huge lift, tons and tons and tons of time put into this. So, like, how do I find what I know will work or what I think will work? Well, I'm going to look at what I have evidence of working so far. So what I mean by that is I have tons and tons of plans, right?
Sure.
So the first thing I did is I looked in the analytics of my plans. By far, the thing that sells the least is like specific furniture pieces.
Okay. So I probably won't be a course on how to build a coffee table then.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing that by far gets the most planned sales are more generalized, like things that everyone can use. So like shop projects, like I need a flip top tool stand, or I need a clamp rack or whatever. I know it's going to work. I'll take it. Right. So then I was like, but I don't know if I want to make a shop project course. So what I decided is I want to make a course on something that's general enough, but also applies to everything. Just about everything. So like you're going to build a piece of furniture. If you took a course about this thing, you could use it in the furniture. You're going to build a pantry. You could use this in the pantry. You're going to build a built-in bookshelf. You can use this in there. So I'm trying to find a way to make these like very generalized courses.
Yeah.
That even if somebody's like, well, I don't know what project I want to build right now, I want to just gain. I want to gain this skill. And so, because I was also thinking like Cam from Blacktail, one of his courses is just how to be successful at making epoxy tables, not making a specific epoxy table.
Just the general. Yeah.
So even if you have no ambition to make an epoxy table, it's just like, well, I might want to learn just the knowledge so that when I do feel like doing that, I can kind of learn. And then I've already develop like a roadmap with this where course 1 can tie to course 2 that can tie to course 3. Like I can make this all encompassing like mega course afterwards, but they can all stand alone. You could just take one of them and be totally fine.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you in the after show what
I'm curious. Yeah.
What it's going to be. Let me write that down so I don't forget what my course is. But it's so simple that once I say it, you'll probably be like, yeah, dude, I think that makes sense. Like I can see why it's so general, but I'm excited. And
I like the idea of course. It was funny. I was actually downstairs playing with the dog like an hour ago, and I was thinking like maybe summer is always quiet time for sponsors.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I'll try and get a course for myself going during the summer. Like, we don't have many sponsors. Like, even if I have to put out a couple of videos with no sponsors, it's like, okay, I'll just plug the course. Yeah.
Right.
But a lot of work to make a course too, right? So
I know. So that's where I came up with the initial idea for the course. And then my biggest problem is like, okay, where do I start? Right.
Yes. Well, defining what's the scope of the course? That's the part that I was struggling a little with too. So I imagine you probably have a similar issue.
Right. So that was my biggest issue. I was like, well, I know in the course I want to talk about this. I know I want to talk about this. I also know that I want to bring this up, but I don't know where to start. So I had a conversation with Jason Bent. He called me. We were talking about some couple things. And he was like, dude, one of the things that I've been utilizing a lot recently is using Chat GPT, not to like basically be like, here's your entire video, but to give you like the 10,000 foot view. And then you're like, this shell seems like a pretty good idea. And now that I have that shell, I can be like, okay, this is stupid. I don't want that. Oh, I actually want to, emphasize this area more. So I use Chat GPT to basically make my shell. Deleted 30 to 40% of it, but it kind of got my brain spinning of like, okay, now I have kind of like chapter 1, 2, 3. Oh, but I want to put a 3B. Oh, I want to put a 3C. And it really helped with the framework.
Okay, that's interesting. I see what you're saying. I relate to a lot of, okay, like I would get like a shell written out and then I'd be like, okay, I do want to do a 3B. I want to do a 3C. I want to do a 3B. And it's like you get so granular, I almost never know when to stop with like the sub chapters and like how specific should I get here?
Like, I truly think this course is going to be 2 to 3 hours long.
Yeah. Which is, potentially very good value because what do people want? Why are they getting a course? They want more. They want things to be more in depth, right? So I think the more in depth you go, the better. But it's more work too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not going to make this a YouTube video where it's snap every 2 seconds.
Different pace.
There might be 10 or 15 second clips if they're valuable.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is going to be based around learning and how can you take this topic and really, really, truly understand it so that next time this comes up in a project, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So like, I wonder if there's something that you could do that you could come up with that same idea, same concept, and like make a course of your own. Like, instead of a course of here's how you make a retro, game console. What if you're like, here's how you, I'm spitballing. Here are the different components that go well together. Like, here's how you would take a Raspberry Pi and turn it into a retro thing, or like something that's very generalized that you could apply to tons of different things. Or here's how you solder, a course all about soldering.
I did think, that was one of the things. And it's like, do I make that its own course, or is that a chapter in the course? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, but here's the thing. You could start off with, here's why you solder. Mm-hmm. Here are all the different techniques of how to solder. Here are all the different ways you could solder with various tools. Here are ways to fix common mistakes. Here are, ways to perfect things. Here are how to clean things up. Here's the different types of solder, when you would use each of these. Here's what the heat settings do. Like, you could very easily make a very, very, very in-depth course.
Well, that's why, what is more valuable for the end user, and also what has more appeal, right? Because like a 3-hour long soldering course, that's kind of like, that's very in the weeds, and that's only going to appeal to a very small subset of my audience. But if I have if the soldering is like one chapter of a course, and I just kind of give you like the basic overview of soldering, and I give you like basically everything you need to get up and running, and then I move on to the next thing, which is maybe, I don't know, like 3D modeling or or something like that. Like, that's where I'm kind of conflicted, and that's why it's like, it's tough to define the scope of your course.
I know. Deric, what if you're watching Zach's videos, right?
Yeah.
What would you like? Would you have any interest in watching a full-length course all about soldering? We're going to pretend you know nothing about soldering.
I think the soldering is really a component of a larger group, I believe. I think that's just like one piece of a larger pie. And I think that larger pie could be focused in on maybe not necessarily retro hardware, but home brewing, home kitting, different
that's
things.
Kind of what I was saying. Like, maybe like, like electronics modding 101 or something like that. Yeah.
I like that. So like, you could have a course like, okay, we're going to 101. I like what you said there. We're going to have this course where
1.1.
Yeah. You want to start getting into this? Here is the easiest, most basic way to mod stuff. So like, hypothetically, we're going to say we're going to do a Raspberry Pi. Now, and correct me if I'm using the wrong terminology and stuff. First thing that a lot of people like to do to really get the most out of their system is it called overclocking? Yeah. Okay, you could be like, here's how you overclock. Here are the limitations. Here's what happens if you push it too far. However you do that, I'm assuming it's like a coding thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Raspberry Pi the most common thing you use?
No, I wouldn't say so. But for the sake of an example, like, let's just run with it.
I was gonna say you could build the courses around that. Like, for example, 101 ways to mod a Raspberry Pi, and like just like all the
that's the other thing.
Especially if you get an affiliate link to Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
And they're so ubiquitous.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's an interesting problem. I'm trying to think how to define the scope, but I also want it to be like broadly applicable. I think I would stick more like I don't think I would go for a specific thing like Raspberry Pi, because I'd love to be able to toss it out anytime I do a console modding project.
Yeah.
Like, if you have any questions about this process, like, I've actually made this 3-hour course, Console Modding 101, that covers like a good solid introduction on how you can do something similar to this at home. Boom, plug over, move on to the next thing. Whereas if it's a Raspberry Pi related course, it's like, it kind of has to be a Raspberry Pi or Raspberry Pi adjacent project before I can mention it, right? So I think keep it as broad as possible, but I'm open to being convinced otherwise.
So I think the perfect audience to ask people about like a course for something that you're doing would be somebody who, I mean, no disparagement, but I'm assuming Sophie doesn't know a whole hell of a lot about modding tech, right?
No.
Okay. Have her watch one of your videos and
interesting.
then go, when I cover something that you don't know or that you don't understand, that you're like, oh, it'd be kind of interesting to learn more about this.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah.
So like it could be something as simple as like I noticed when I was watching your server thing that the other day, you were like, oh, I checked the continuity on things. I'm like, I understand I understand what that means. If you gave me a multimeter and asked me to do it, no idea. What if you did a course all about how to use and read a multimeter?
I honestly feel like I could use a course on how to use and read a multimeter. I know what like 3 or 4 things on the multimeter do, and then there's like 20 other settings where I'm like, I have no idea what this is for.
But that could be something that I think would be incredibly valuable because if you want to mod stuff, you need to know how to use a multimeter.
Yes. Yeah.
And not only
like the basics of diagnostic.
Right. And that is applicable to every single project that you do.
Yeah.
Even if it was a micro course or something like that.
Yeah.
And you could actually, you would have fun doing it, I think, because you would learn everything about a multimeter.
Yeah. That's a good idea, actually. I think, But yeah. Would a multimeter video, would that be better as a video? Probably not, because it'd be dry and boring to someone who's not, you're never going to get like 1 million views on like how to use a multimeter at this point.
But if we go back to the whole intro to modding thing, you need to know how to use this to mod.
Yeah.
What if you made it almost like a micro course? It was $20 and it was 45 minutes long. And then every time you put out another course, you're like, and as a bonus, you get my mini course all about how to use a multimeter. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Something
I mean, look,
around.
I think at the end of the day, building up a library of like courses is a good idea because there's so much room for, I hate this term, but for like quote unquote synergy between your various courses. Somebody takes one of your courses, they're like, damn, I actually learned quite a bit about electronics from Zach's course here.
Yeah.
Then it's like you can immediately have like another, like a plug for another thing. It's like, okay, you learned a lot about like soldering. What about my other course for the multimeter or my other course for batteries or, you know?
But you see how like by having a course over something like that, where it's a more general thing, it can apply to everything. Like, dude, you could plug 9 courses in a YouTube video, right?
Yeah.
You can make a 3D printing course.
Yep. Here's the thing I struggle with that, and I know it's something that you just have to kind of get over as a content creator, is I know I'm not the most knowledgeable person in the world when it comes to 3D printing. Right. I know I'm not the best solderer. I know I'm not the best multimeter user in the world. So it's like, you feel a little weird, but I do know more than the average person, I guess. Like, I do still have knowledge to share.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Deric said, it's the imposter thing. Like, are you the best electronics modder in the world?
God, no.
Well, then why are you doing it on YouTube?
Exactly, right?
You know, like, I'm being funny, right? Like,
no, but that's, you know, like, that is something that every YouTuber or content creator has to get over at some point, right? Like, you have to get over that hump. So I think I just need to do that course thing too.
Every teacher you've ever had throughout your entire life was not the top of their field or the most knowledgeable in their field, but you did learn things from them and you did progress.
100%. Yep. As long as you know more than the person you're teaching, then
that's right.
Yeah.
But just, I don't know, just think about it. This is one of those things. It's funny that I went through putting out a video that did absolute dog shit. Oh, there's the explicit. To a one that's doing fantastic. And then once the video starts doing well, I'm like, I open up this new mindset of like, you know, I should start trying to think about this, right?
Dude, I mean, the euphoria of 1 out of 10 is a very good motivator to new things. And that's a great lesson for all the people at home too. You got a 10 out of 10 and a 1 out of 10 back to back.
Right.
It's like, it's your luck can really change real quick in this industry. In both
You know what the
directions.
common denominator in that though is? Me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a good title and thumbnail. I didn't make it captivating. That's
Right.
my fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But we already had a bunch of things starred. Jay.
Oh, really?
It
We got
it
seven
carries
things
over now.
starred.
So if you leave them starred, they carry over from the previous one.
Oh,
So I thought
what?
that was interesting. Yeah. So I
Oh, like
up,
from previous shows?
yeah. So I left up everything we had in case we wanted to go at it. We can,
Oh,
we can
that's
tackle it in the after
nuts.
show.
Where do I see the start? Oh, up there. Okay.
You're right next to the live and the comments tab.
I only see 2 start ones.
I see.
Oh,
I
see
got 7.
Oh, that's weird.
Can you scroll up?
Nope. It even says start, and then in parentheses it says 2.
That's weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder why we can and you can't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
anyway, I guess we
before
should.
you get into the stars, I have something very exciting to share.
What's that?
There's
What?
a new flavor of bubbly. Blueberry pomegranate. Come on, focus. Get my face.
Oh, I hate to be that guy, but I won't even say it.
Have you already had it?
I've had it for
it-
years down here.
Really? Damn.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything about it. Have you tasted it yet?
Yeah, I had one earlier.
It's
but
delicious. It's one of their best flavors.
this might be a contender for my new favorite flavor. I don't think it's gonna unseat grapefruit, which is obviously my favorite.
I think that's Keith's favorite flavor. I'm not a
this
big
might be-
grapefruit guy.
Really? I like it. I don't like grapefruit juice normally.
Yeah.
Not a big grapefruit guy in general, but something about the grapefruit bubbly does it for me.
Did you pick up any of these bad boys? These
Not yet.
element
Not
things?
Not yet. I'm waiting for the sponsorship email. I'm hoping
They're
they send me
good,
one.
man. They're good. I've only got one left of these sparkling bad boys, and
Oh,
yeah,
I haven't seen them in the store anywhere, and I don't really want to pay whatever it was, like $36. That'll end up being $70 Canadian by the time it gets to my front door.
you probably got to pay shipping too.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So, do you guys, speaking of beverages, you guys are aware of the greatest wrestler of all time, Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Hell yeah,
It's
brother.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Dude, The Rock, get out of here. Get out of here. Did you see that he came out with his own white labeled beer?
No, I didn't. Oh, okay.
Called
Yeah,
Real
what's up?
American Beer.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty on brand for him. Real American beer.
How
yes,
awesome
I'm
is
of
that,
age.
though?
It's
Did
got
you see
him on
Tom
the
Holland?
can.
Who's
Tom Holland released a bunch of non-alcoholic beers as well.
I don't know. Who
Oh.
that is.
He
Tom
played
Holland.
Spider-Man recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Beer.
I mean, this looks very Hulk Hogan. Everything about this is incredibly Hulk Hogan. I bet you. What do you think? Is this just like recanned Bud Light or something?
I mean,
You think? I bet they have a thinner wall towards the bottom for being able to punch your key through more easily for those that are older and
man.
still follow Hulk Hogan.
I don't know if you probably didn't have this because it was a Canadian beer, but they released these beers in Canada called Molson Canadian Cold Shots. And
I used to get Molson's Ice.
yeah, well, they were small cans. It was smaller than your standard, like is it 12 ounce for a normal can? I'm trying to do a
Here
math.
it is. Yeah.
$3.75. Yeah.
So
12
it was
ounces.
smaller. It was smaller than even that, and but it had a bullseye on it where you're supposed to stab it with your keys, and then you pop the top and you shotgun it. But really quickly they had to rebrand it or they had to like redo the can because they got sued for promoting excessive drinking.
Alcoholism.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
So
fine line they have to walk with
220.
promoting selling their product and not overselling their product.
I know. It's funny.
I always thought that Natty Light had
Mhm.
one of the best like social media campaigns.
I don't get
Oh,
any
it's-
of that stuff up here in Canada. I don't think.
Oh,
So
it was
yeah.
hilarious. It's the Anheuser-Busch. It's the same company that makes like Bud Light and stuff. It's just
Okay.
one of their other products.
Okay. Yeah, they
It's
don't
so
sell
funny.
they don't sell Natty Light up here, but they do sell Budweiser, and it's weird what they do and don't sell in Canada.
Yeah. But your Molson is different. The Molson Canadian Canada is different than here.
Than what it is down. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
Not
a
as
lot of
good.
it's different too because it's like it'll be like Molson Canadian, but it's brewed in Alabama or something like that, and then
Yeah,
and then same
yeah.
thing. Like the Budweiser will be brewed up here in Canada. It's just
they
a
got, like,
name,
partner
really.
brewers.
Yeah.
Because I thought all the Budweiser is brewed in Columbus. That's the massive Anheuser-Busch plants right off the highway. They've got the smokestacks that say Bud Light and Budweiser right on them. But I could be wrong. I mean, they probably have a million different facilities that they make that stuff in. But
yeah, if I go to the Budweiser website, it says made in Ontario, on like the Canadian alcohol store. Yeah,
I never knew.
Mhm.
I never knew. Well, I guess should we knock out some of these things that we've got starred?
Sure,
Sure.
let's do it.
So the first one, I guess, our buddy Joe Welsh, Delaware Valley Workshop, said, "Eric, you going to the festival tomorrow? Is that why we're a day early?" Yes.
Correct.
Tomorrow there's a Festool 100-year celebration thing that they're doing it at their warehouse. They're going to show us a bunch of unreleased tools, and if you want to know what they are, just go to festool.com, not festoolusa.com, but festool.com.
They're all
It's
coming
basically
over from
everything
Europe,
that's already out in Europe. It will come out approximately a year later in the US. So no surprises
Funny.
there. They said there was going to be a surprise, but let's be honest here. We know exactly what it's going to be. Yeah, so they're having a bunch of people over. I think Sedge said there's like 300 people.
Whoa.
That's what I thought.
My invite must have got lost in the mail.
It's everyone who's done any campaigns with them or done like a build off.
That's cool.
In the
It'll
past.
probably almost be like a little mini workbench onto itself.
Yeah. It's from like 4 to 8 or 4 to 9 tomorrow. And
They feed you?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
4 to 8, you got to feed it. You got to feed the people at the end of the 8.
Yeah. Well, I remember last year we went, and then I think they just had like little like appetizers, and like these things always have desserts. Like, come on, don't give me a dessert. Give me like give me chicken fingers or something, right? And so we went to
chicken fingers.
Like 50, 60 of us went to Buffalo Wild Wings afterwards, and these people were pissed when we showed
What,
up.
the people who work there?
Yeah.
Why? They were like, we don't want to make money?
Right?
Well, I think that the place was dead, and then we walked in, and I think they were closing in like an hour and a half. So they were probably mopped everything, cleaned everything up, and they're like gonna be ready to go for the rest of the night.
Yeah, your sign says till 10. We're gonna be here till 10.
But you got 60 people walking the door. It's like, oh, there's $300 in tips or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were not happy. Now I'm the person, like, if I notice your restaurant closes at 10, if I dude, even an hour before, I'm like,
yeah,
a sit down place I won't go to if they close within an hour.
I'll usually say something like, is it cool if I sit and eat, but I'll eat really quick, and like if it's 8 and you're closing at 9, I'll be like, don't worry, I'll be done well before 9.
I already know what I want, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sitting here getting 9 beers and gonna take forever.
They don't care what you're doing afterwards. You're not affected. They're not affected by your schedule. Why should you be affected by their schedule? You're there within the time that they said so.
Yeah.
Oh,
I also wonder if they build in a little flex in their schedule. Like, they say restaurant closes at 9, but everybody's shift actually ends at 10 because they do like cleanup and all the, kind of.
Well, usually they won't seat somebody within 15 minutes of closing.
Right.
Understanding that it takes like a half an hour for somebody to fully get their meal, sit down, eat, and then check out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. When I worked retail, the mall, like the store would close at like 9. We would have people that would come in at 8:55 or 8:58 and be like, I got in here right before you closed. And they would be the people that would bring their entire fucking family in there.
Oh, no.
They'd have, poor moms toting around 5, 6 kids, right? All of them have different size shoes. So you got to go to the kids' side and then the men's area, and you got to size them all. And then
so would somebody comes in 5 minutes before closing, 6 kids, do you automatically think like, oh crap, now I'm here for an extra, I actually had to stay later? Like, was there no flex? Okay.
Yeah.
I worked Target in high school, and we would shut down the registers at 10. So
Yeah.
like, unless you were in line, you weren't getting checked out.
Right.
If you were still in the store somewhere, then
That's a good way to do it.
See, we
come
would
back tomorrow.
try to do that, but like the store managers were like the biggest pushover people in the world because
yeah.
we had the thing where like if somebody got like your classic Karen gets mad, they're like, well, I'm going to call your district manager.
Right.
And then the district manager is like, you have to do anything that the customer says.
Yeah.
Or else you get fired. So it's like there's no point of even like making any sort of like rules. Just like, well, crap, I'm stuck here now. Because the way we would do it is like as soon as like if everybody's out of the store and you cleaned everything up and like like mopped and it was all good to go and whatever, like you can go home.
Yeah.
Especially in college, Friday, Saturday night, you're working, the store closes at 9. You're like, yo, let's get out of here so I can like meet up with guys and like, grab a beer or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, our managers didn't want to pay anything more than the allotted time that you were scheduled. So whenever your shift was over, you clock out and you're done. Wherever you're at in the day, you clock out and you're done. And then it becomes somebody else's problem, which then makes them upset with you. So you are incentivized through that to not leave a lot behind.
Yeah,
unless something understandable happens. But it's different management styles. Yeah, ours just didn't want to pay more than the hours they had scheduled out, and that's why we were pretty hard on our times.
That makes sense. I've seen some restaurants and bars do like we're open till 11, but the kitchen closes at 9:30. I've seen that happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that happens quite a bit.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I don't mind it, especially in the kitchen. Like you got to
be there all the time.
Yeah, you got to clean that stuff up. You got to clean the fryer. You got to clean the grills, all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. So beforehand, before we started the show, we're starting late because my microphone wouldn't connect for some reason.
Oh yeah,
good old Mac difficulties. Deric, you had mentioned that you don't think you're going. Well, I guess you like 99% sure you are not going to work.
100% not going to work. Petron. Yeah. I have a ruptured disc in my lower back, and it's pressing on my sciatic nerve. So I need to get that taken care of before I'm out of commission for doing anything. And I didn't want to go. Like I could probably, if it was today, I'd feel fine going. But I didn't want to go and then get there and aggravate it and then be stuck in a position where I'm in just agonizing pain and I'm stuck at this hotel type of situation.
And you're like, I paid a bunch of money to be here. I feel like I should be out going, like doing something, but instead I'm just
laid up in an expensive hotel room with a flight and everything for no reason.
Yeah. So what happened? What'd you do?
Nothing in particular. I had been experiencing some, twinges for a few weeks. Like my back would start getting a little tight and tense in the morning, and then I'd kind of walk around and work it out. And over the course of the first few hours throughout the day, it would stretch out and I'd be fine. And then I'd go to bed and wake up the next morning. It's a little tight and tense. And I just kind of thought it was I'm not getting good sleep, or I'm sitting on the couch, because I'd fall asleep on the couch some nights. Maybe I'm falling asleep funny on the couch, whatever. And one day I just woke up a week ago, Friday, and I was in just agonizing pain. Like I could not stand up, couldn't walk or anything. And my wife took me into the ER, and they gave me like a steroid shot and a anti-inflammatory, and gave me a bunch of pills and all this other stuff. And so I've been nursing through it and getting better and everything. And here we are.
Man.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
But it's really like, it's on me. I should be taking better care of myself and working on core body strength. Like that's really what it comes down to, is I don't have a strong core, and that's just something that I'll need to work on, and they'll make it not happen anymore.
Yeah.
Get those squats and deadlifts going.
Right.
Stretching.
Get Sedge. Sedge will coach you.
He's true. Yeah. He'd be a good coach, actually.
That's the ironic thing, is that a lot of people, we're not going on this tangent, but people are like, yeah, if you lift weights, you're going to hurt yourself. It's like, well, if you do it right, you actually strengthen yourself and prevent injuries and stuff. Like, why do you think so much physical therapy is like getting up and down out of chairs, bending over, picking things up? Like,
building that strength up.
Yeah. It's tough though.
So eventually you're going to hurt yourself if you don't. Yeah. You got to stay in shape for sure.
It's there's never enough time to do, like we've talked about this. There's never enough time in the
absolutely.
day to do everything that everybody says you need to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm the person, I wake up and I just start going. And I know it drives my wife nuts, but there'll be sometimes it'll be, this sounds gross. Like it'll be like 11 in the morning and I'm like, oh, I haven't even brushed my teeth yet. Like I'll get up, I'll make breakfast, and then I'll like get on a phone call and like start working on this and then do this and clean things up. And I'm like, I forgot to brush my teeth just because I
feel like I do that all the time. That's pretty common for me. That's a normal Wednesday for me.
Oh, but so, Zach, what have you been working on? You've been filming stuff? You've been building stuff? What are you doing?
Oh, dude, I've just been filming nothing but Instagram ads for the last little bit, which is, my favorite thing to do. Yeah, it's good.
You do the thing where you forget to flip your camera 90?
No, thankfully, I was okay for these ones. But I mean, I have made that mistake in the past. I've actually been
so tight.
I've been recording a lot of Instagram content on my phone lately. The stuff I did today I actually filmed with like my proper camera, but there's something that feels right about filming short form content with your phone. First of all, it's a lot easier to not make the mistake of being in the wrong orientation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something about it. It's like if people are going to watch it on their phone, maybe it should be filmed on a phone.
It seems more natural, just like the what am I looking at? Like the aperture and stuff on your phone camera. The depth of field is way different than your regular camera.
Yes, exactly. It feels like a little too polished a lot of time if you do it with like the big camera. So yeah.
Now, are you the person when you film on your phone, you're like, put it in airplane mode because I don't want anybody to call me, or like do you do that, or you forget to do it, or do you just cross your fingers?
Dude, I always forget to do it. And have you ever seen what happens to your phone's camera when your phone vibrates because you're getting a text message while you're filming? Yeah, it gets all wavy and weird. It's the weirdest thing.
Because it's trying to do like in-body image stabilization.
I think so. I think it's like the image stabilization freaking out, trying to counteract the vibrations from you.
Or like if you've ever had it mounted to a tool and you rev up that tool and that tool starts vibrating and it'll vibrate your phone and everything.
Yeah.
You see like people that are new to it will do that and their footage will be all like jittery.
I hate jittery footage. It's such a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
I know people don't care. Like most people don't even mind. But
what's worse, jittery footage, or when people overuse the stabilization thing?
Oh, good question.
Oh, explain the overuse of it.
Okay, so like, let's say I hold my phone and I'm trying to do like a little pan shot or whatever. You use the stabilization because your hand naturally moves up and down a little bit.
Yeah.
Your software, like Final Cut or Premiere or whatever, is like, I got this. You're good, brother. It looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if I hold my phone and I go kind of like in and out and like rotate it side to side, like I look like I'm having a seizure, and then try to get stabilization to work on this, your software is like, hey man, I'm doing the best I can. There's
a certain level of shake that it can correct, and then there's a certain level of shake where it's just like it just looks weird and ugly. The only time sometimes Bryson will do that for like comedic effect. Like if I drop something, he'll do like the crazy overdone stabilization and it looks kind of funny because it just kind of like adds to the comedy of the moment. But yeah, in general, it's super gross when you see it.
It like warps and distorts and looks like it's like pulling and stretching
it bends the frame to get rid of the vibrations. It feels like.
It kind of makes you sick.
Yes.
If you're wondering if you've done it, Deric, no, I have not noticed it in your stuff.
If you're feeling self-conscious.
I felt like that was where we were going with that. Deric's like, oh no. No, I've not.
I've never applied stabilization to anything because I always lock off my camera. So
yeah.
But even sometimes, like I've noticed, because I have the camera mount that's on like the bucket with the concrete and the thing. Sometimes it gets just like a little.
Yep. Sometimes you hit the record button and that starts like a little pendulum swing in your camera.
Yeah.
And then
So you hit stabilization and it's good to go.
Yeah.
It's amazing how like intensive it is for your computer to calculate the stabilization stuff, though.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things. Like you hit that little stabilized clip thing, and it has to think for like it could be like a 3-second clip, and it's got to think for 30 seconds in order to do it. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. So you've been filming tons of Instagram ads and stuff like that.
Yes. It's
Anything exciting? Any stories? Any mess ups? Anything to write home about?
I'll let you know. I actually, it's funny. I was editing a bunch of footage of me today talking about this financial product that I kind of teased last episode. And I'm watching it and I'm like, is my fly down? And I don't think it is. I think it's just, you know how like I can just see like the little metal of the zipper, but I don't think the fly is actually down. But I'm looking at this footage and I'm like, and you know how it is when I recorded like 50 takes of me saying the same sentence.
Right.
Because it has to be, it's a financial product. So it has to be the exact right words. There's no room for messing up. So I had to do a bunch of takes in order to make sure I got it. And I have one that's like perfect. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I think my fly might be down. I think it's probably okay. And I'm definitely like, this is the only good take of 48 takes. So I definitely have to use it. Maybe I'll just like crop the frame in so you can't see my fly anymore.
Was it pretty obvious though?
No, I would say it's very subtle.
Oh,
just like a little glint of metal that you can see. Like
you weren't hanging brain, but the curtains were clearly open.
Yeah, I think actually what it is, I think is that like the fly is like 75% of the way done up. Yeah.
I feel like this is the
it just
show
doesn't
title.
look quite right. Yeah.
The one where they leave their fly down.
So we'll watch any ads I put out in the future and see if you notice any low hanging fly.
But I mean, like same clothing company.
Yeah. No, it's not, but that would be funny.
I feel like it's funny to put little Easter eggs and stuff like that in there.
I actually agree. I think that's. I want to have more Easter eggs in my content because I think that's fun.
Yeah. So in my last video, when I was doing the drywall and stuff, listen, I know you don't need that many screws in the drywall. Right. Yes. I did it. Well, one, I had this new drywall gun. I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. I'm like, zip, 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 zip. This is cool.
Notepad.
And then I got to thinking, I wonder if this would set people off. If I used 3,500 drywall screws. And I only saw a couple comments about it.
Really?
Yeah. That's kind of
I guess maybe most of your audience doesn't know anything about screwing drywall in. So like, I guess it looks right to me.
Yeah. You really don't need that many screws on each sheet.
No, you need like one every 8 inches or something like that. I think that's the drywall screw schedule.
But I just was absolutely hammering it with screws.
Oh, dude, when you have one of those guns with the collated screws, it's so easy to just bang them in every 2 inches. Yeah. And you're always like, well, what's one more? It's cost me like a second of my time. So I'll just...
Right, versus like having to get one out of your pocket and then put it up there. You're like, oh...
Exactly.
As few as possible, but
exactly.
Oh man. So speaking of tools, I think that I now understand why people who build cabinets and stuff swear by that lamello thing.
What is that thing?
Oh.
So it's basically like a biscuit jointer on steroids that has like tons of different like joinery clips and accessories you can use with it. Like, so I got the cabinets up on the wall. I'm putting the face frame on there, and I'm like, as soon as I put the face frame on, I'm like, oh well, I need to like hold it. How the hell do I hold it without it moving? Right. Like I like people like, oh, Brad nailed it. Yeah, no, I know that, but how do I hold that while I'm getting it like adjusted and situated and then going, okay, now I'm ready to Brad nail it. Like if I had the lamello and you had the little clips in there, you put it on there, you just give it a little smack, it's snapped in and you're done.
Gotcha.
And I'm like,
interesting.
They're
not cheap though. I'm looking at this
it's
thing.
like $2,500.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's before you start buying any of the little accessories and stuff for it.
Yeah, it's. I tell you what, if I'm going to be building more cabinets and with like face frames and stuff like that, I think I'm just going to just buy the damn
bite
thing.
the bullet and do it. I mean, look, honestly, this is what all tools are. You're just buying back your time.
It's your time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and to be able to like dry fit stuff and put it on there, like, oh, it works great, and then not have to paint everything and then fill up nail holes and stuff like that. I'm like, I might just buy this damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, or reach out. I'm sure. There's somebody who is a big proponent of it, right?
Keith's got one.
Does Keith have one? Yeah. Does he have like a contact with them?
I don't know.
He's like a rep.
Yeah, I talked to him about it over the summer. So
get him to give you one. No big deal.
I don't think he's got that kind of pull. He's like
Deric just said he's a rep. If he's a rep, he can give him out like candy.
I'm sure he can probably get me like a demo unit to borrow or something like that. But if I want to keep it, I'm like, I don't know. So then I started looking into it. Now you can get a corded version,
okay,
or you can get a cordless. But then you have another damn battery platform.
They don't. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Why would they? That's like a prime opportunity to do the thing where they like partner with another company.
I know.
And take their battery in order to use it because nobody
wants or Milwaukee, Makita, Festool, whatever.
Yeah. Whoever.
It's probably like a tool of that level. It's like who do you partner with that's on your level? Because that's kind of an expensive tool. So you're not going to go with somebody on the lower end like DeWalt. But Festool would be the only one that would fit, but that's a competitor because they got the Domino, which is their version of that kind of.
Good point. Yeah, I mean, I'd go like Milwaukee or something like that, maybe.
Maybe,
yeah. But it's like so cabinet specific, I don't know.
Yeah. But it looks nice. I admit, like I watched Jason's last video where he used one, and I've seen Keith use them so many times, and then haven't thought anything of them. I saw Jason use it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I can get the point now."
Is Jason a better influencer than Keith? Then is that the moral of that story?
Oh,
At least for me.
But so it's interesting that you bring up the co-branding or whatever with a battery
partnerships or whatever. Yeah.
So I got that Graco Ultra Quick Shot thing.
Yeah.
It's an airless sprayer. It's a DeWalt battery.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Dude, that thing worked really well.
Didn't you ask for that a long time ago? Did you just get it recently? Or did you just use it for the first time recently?
Just use it for the first time.
Okay, cool.
It worked really well.
So did you buy it or did they send it to you?
They gave it to me. But dude, I absolutely would buy it.
Ah.
That seems like a much better design to me than the one where you have like the tank on the gun itself. Like divorcing the hopper.
I've seen a couple of videos recently where that's failing.
What is?
The tank on the gun is failing?
Uh-oh. Did we lose Deric?
Yeah, like the little bit that you connect your drill to is snapping off. I've seen a couple of those where that's happening.
That one you're saying. Yes. Interesting.
That doesn't surprise me. It's probably because people are using an impact gun instead of a drill.
Or they're using it on like the high
using it to death.
Yeah.
And it's really made for DIY work, not for like everyday use.
Well, that's the thing. They might be expecting people to throw this on their 12-volt Ryobi, and then people are like throwing it on their 60-volt hammer drill and just cranking the ever-loving piss out of it.
I could totally see that too. Like it's snapping. The drill-powered sprayer, it worked for very thin things. Like I used it with like polyurethane. I'm like, it worked great. Do I truly think that it could work with like primer or like some thick enamel paint? I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
I used it on exterior paint. It worked fine, but it was definitely it was laying it down thick. Yeah. For exterior.
Yeah. Because you can't really, the only thing that you're adjusting is your trigger. You can't adjust like the pressure or the flow rate or anything like that.
Yeah, but you can change
really?
the tips,
Interesting.
I guess.
Yeah, you can change the tip.
Huh.
But dude, that ultimate quick shot thing worked so well.
It's pricey though. I just looked it up. It's like $2,000 or probably 1,500
it's
American.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a project coming up where I'm gonna need one. I thought I might reach out to him and see if I can get one of those.
Yeah, I bet you probably could.
They sent you the other one, right, Deric? You did a video for them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you got
yeah,
their
just
contact
reach
info.
out. Yeah, you already have a contact. See if they'll send you one out.
Yeah.
I wonder what
it's so nice because that little tiny sprayer, you can manipulate it anywhere and not have to worry about spilling your paint. I will say, only complaint I have, it's got like a little belt holster thing where you like put the little like compressor unit on your hip.
Okay.
It is a little heavy, and when it's fully loaded in paint, it's not balanced. It does want to tip a little bit. So what I would do is I had it on my belt, and I basically just kind of set my hand on it, my left hand on it, just to like hold it and stabilize it. Wasn't like holding it up, just kind of like holding its hand. And then I was spraying everything, and it works super, super well.
How long is the hose on that bad boy? Could you put it on like the table next to where you're working?
It's probably 3 or 4 feet long. It's not super long.
Okay. It's not that long then. Interesting.
But, I think I've gotten to the point now. I painted one project successfully. I truly think if I do more like built-in cabinets and stuff like this, I'm going to farm out the painting.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I mean, you got the truck, so you can load it all up, take it somewhere, have them spray it, and then pick it up and bring it back.
I mean, paint alone, even with my dad's discount, I still spent almost $200 in paint.
Yeah, paint is great. It's gone exponential. That's what the discount is. What is it? Your dad's discount is probably like 50% or more.
Yeah, I think it's 60-something% off.
They did a gallon of paint. It's like $100 these days. It's insane.
Yeah.
Nice stuff, anyways.
I got the Sherwin-Williams Emerald urethane, the stuff that's like rock hard. I think it was $130 a gallon.
Whoa. Oh. That's so painful.
Man.
I look at it and I just laugh. I'm just like, okay.
They keep selling it, so
it works great.
Yeah.
It works great, but hey. I want to give we got a comment popped up, and before we end the show. This is Jake from Scouts Workshop. Says, "What up, guys? Wanted to pop in real quick and bring some attention to a channel I've discovered. Not sure if you guys know about it or not, but the guy is killing it. Late night woodworking.
Okay.
Not familiar.
Let me look this up.
Discovered, or is it him?
No, I can't imagine. Well, Jake's name says Scouts Workshop, so I can't imagine it's he has a different plug, right? That would be weird.
He's like one subscriber away from 10,000. Hold on, let me see. If I subscribe, damn, it's a roll over to 10,000. He's 9.99 K subscribers.
Oh.
So we're between 1 and 100 away.
Yeah, somewhere between 1 and 100. I was hoping it would be the 1, but this looks cool. It looks like he's got a cool aesthetic anyways. It's very walnut and very walnut heavy, which I appreciate.
I dig the
very Fraser-esque logo.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I need to check this person out. But everybody listening, let's help this guy get to 10,000. Late night woodworking. Go check it out. See if you like it, and then subscribe.
Didn't roll for me.
Didn't roll for me either. I clicked on it.
Damn it.
I'll subscribe and then check out the video and see what happens. He said it's like watching cinema. There are a lot of people that I've noticed do something kind of similar. Where that's how Nick Padula started. He was very cinematic stuff, and now he's getting more. He didn't talk in any of his old videos, but now his channel's really videos. I'll tell you what, he's starting off better than I did.
Yeah.
But well, speaking of starting off, I think we should start off the after show, the bonus episode for tonight.
The bonus show, yeah.
So we're going to head over to patreon.com/offthecut podcast, and we'll see you guys over there.
Sure will.
See y'all there.
See you, everybody.
See ya. I'm going to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons: Corey Duvall at Woodcrafts and Honey, Josh at Sawdust Bills, Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop, Goblin Spanker.
You can't say that anymore.
And Dadu's debit card did work.
Bingo bango, you're done.
Zach, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I followed you.